Hip hop, I let my tape pop, and if I hit the switch, I can make the ass drop. And you don't stop. You don't stop. Never eat your pig, cause a pig is a cop.
I got the rap patrol on the Gat Patrol. Ladies love me long time like Tupac Soul.
Like Bo, like Doe, like Dro, Nitro. And if you don't know, now you know. You know I got soul. Up to the house
in my 6'4".
Oh snap! Guess what I saw? Standing on the front stoop, hanging out the window.
Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door.
I jumped out the rock and said, what's up?
Designated driver, take the keys to my truck.
Pour lean in my cup.
Get nice, split the blunt up.
Come on, everybody, let's get the fuck up.
Now, what y'all wanna do?
So what you wanna do?
What you gonna do?
Wanna be a baller,
B-ballers,
shot
callers.
I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her. I was like, good gracious, ass is bodacious. And I approached baby like,
My name is last name ever, first name greatest.
I've been spending hundreds since they had small faces.
see notes by the layers, true fucking players. Race in the space means peace, see you later.
Funky fresh and yes, cold on my feet.
My life's like a soundtrack I wrote to the beat. When the streets keep calling, heard it when I was asleep.
T-O-M-P, T-O-M, my city, mobbing in the street.
This is my part, nobody else speaks.
Stop this shit. Okay.
First, let me hop out that
Chopper, sister, brother, son.
Showstopper, flow proper, head knocker, beat scholar.
Girl, I want a waller in the back of my
I know you ain't a pimp, but pimp, remember what I taught you.
Who am I? I'm the boss.
I still represent Swisher House.
Who shot Biggie Smalls? If we don't get them, they gon' get us all.
Hey, you know how we ball, right in the shiny car. And no regard for the law, we dodge them like fuck them all.
Smoking, I throwing up, keeping lead up in my cup.
You leave no drink around me, but leave your drink gon' get drunk up.
Coming hard like I wish you would.
You's a superstar, boy. Why you still up in the hood? We back.
1, 2, 3, back on the scene, crispy and clean.
It was all a dream.
It wasn't even close to Halloween. When the MCs came, tell them about the name.
Went solo on that ass, but it's still the same.
Okay, first things first, I'll eat your brains.
Eating whack rappers alive, shitting out chains. West side, when we rock, come equipped with game.
Look, homie, I done came up and I ain't changed. Oh, yeah.
Hold up. I don't mean to hold you up, but I got something to say. Come on.
Give me the mic so I can take it away.
Player haters, get away, or my lead will spray.
Cause this type of shit, it happens every day.
and I will never stop.
Because I just can't quit.
Mayonnaise, color pens, I push miracle whips.
I gather round. I'm the new fool in town.
I'm the young Harlem nigga with the Goldie sound.
Down, down.
And I came to get down.
Get down, girl, go ahead, get down.
I get money, money I got.
Rock the rhythm that'll make your body rock.
Do the hard tick-tock, you don't
I
stop.
told you I'm just like a clock when I tick and I top.
To the beat, y'all, if you don't stop. So I'm talking about y'all as hip hop.
If you wanna come against me, dog, bring your whole brigade. But you should
whole
slice
brigade.
like the throat, like a switch blade.
It was a kitchen blade. Nigga, what?
Hey.
Project
Dip
Pat
on
was
this
a hard
motherfucker
ass
like some
rapper,
red
nigga.
blade.
Yo, what up, though? Welcome to Life Under the Scope podcast.
What up, dog?
Today we talking about hip hop. Today I want to, get two resident, hip hop heads, one rapper, one producer / rapper. But I want them to introduce themselves and say who's in the house today. And also I want everybody to like, subscribe, and share to this on YouTube. I'm MJ Dynasty. Who else we got in the house today?
Nah, infamous, man. Like and subscribe. It don't cost you a dime.
You got Shark Dog,
In the house.
Big Fish in the Sea.
What introduced you to hip hop? Who and what? And I say, me personally, it was my brother. My oldest brother introduced me to hip hop because growing up, parents wouldn't let us listen to certain things. You know, you had to be a certain age to listen to hip hop. So
Yeah.
I had to sneak and do it. So whenever I ride with my brother, you know, he listened to Jay Z, he listened to DMX, Busta Rhymes, stuff like that. So that's what really introduced me to hip hop. That's my.
Yeah.
What about you?
Shit. I would have to say my brother and my cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, that's who the first people music you listening to is, your older siblings, if you got any, if it's not just the radio or stuff like that. But yeah, my cousin, man, rest in peace, my cousin Adam. Shit, he showed me like music, like falling in love with hip hop, just loving how much, different types of sounds and music and beats out there. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with hip hop, and then I fell in love with underground hip hop.
All right, same question to you, Shark Dog.
Shit. I can say my brother first and foremost because growing up with your closest relatives, growing up listening to the box. He used to be down there putting the creases in his jeans, putting on his Air Ones and shit. The box was playing or whatever station we was watching. So that was like my first introduction. Then like going to where my dad grew up, there's 10 kids. So, his younger brother was like he probably like 10, 20 years older than me or some shit. 15 maybe. You know what I'm saying? Then, you know, going over there, you get into more like that hardcore hip hop. Cause yeah, like you say, nigga, your parents didn't want you listening to that shit. So going over there, like my granny was already old as she was old as hell around that time. So it wasn't much control, rest her soul, but it wasn't much control. So my uncle and my cousin used to be over there playing all that hardcore shit like DMX and NWA, you know what I'm saying, all of those hardcore hip hop songs and shit. So
Mm-hmm.
like I really contribute that to like my brother, my uncle, and my cousin for real, for real. Rest my cousin soul too. Shit, that nigga was a hardcore DMX fan.
All right, so what was break down your favorite album, your favorite era, and favorite producer.
Mm.
Who want to go
I
first?
I take a leave at that. Jay Z, Blue. I mean, Reasonable Doubt. That's like my favorite CD because it's well balanced. It's for the hustler and it's for the for the strong and shit. Cause you got songs like "Can't Knock the Hustle," "Can't Knock the Hustle," "Can I Live," "Coming to Age," "Regrets." You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of songs that like defines like even no, and I can't forget 22 Twos because like the hardest line pretty much out that CD, like he was like he talking about killing the nigga and he went in peeked in the nigga cash got look at him still sleeping. And I'm like, duh, that shit was fucking hard. Like 22 Twos,
That
like
whole
Jay-Z
album.
went it is. It's a well balanced, and you can like digest that shit like on like an everyday aspect. Like, dog, that CD really goes through the emotions of a hustler or like a nigga that's around in that era, and you dealing with these certain type of trials and tribulations. That's why I love that CD so much. Like, it's so well balanced. It has its diversity. It has its ups and its downs, its climaxes. You know what I'm saying? It's like a work of art, like the Mona Lisa or something. You know what I'm saying? The way that CD was put together, like nigga, that was a well formulated CD.
Right.
Like, and my favorite producers, I ain't gonna lie, it might be Paul and Juicy with 3 6. Cause
And
like
tell
I
us
love
why.
bass.
Tell us why.
shit, I love bass. Like bass kind of makes the song. It was that music though. That 3-6 make you hype like that, nigga. That
Tear
shit
the
make you want to
club
get
up,
bucked.
nigga.
So
Tear
that
the
thesis.
club up.
Yeah,
So
Tear the
that's
club
y'all
up.
was tearing the living room up, basically.
Man, them niggas son had a song. I bet you won't push a motherfucker. I bet you won't push a nigga, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like
That
for
was
real, for
that was
real.
their first song that blew them up. From what I be reading and shit, like nigga, that was their first like international hit, like across like the U.S. practically.
All right, give us
Or
your
I
favorite.
guess that wouldn't be considered international. You say what?
No, I said, give us your favorite era.
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like this era now. Like, I love all the eras that came before this, but like, I'm kind of young. I ain't young like all these niggas, but like, I had that type of soul. Like, what's new? You know what I'm saying? And from all the eras, like I like the Wu Tang, the eras of that, DMX, Jay Z, and Tribe Called Quest. But these beats and the type of styles that they making nowadays is like I can be lyrical. Like take J Cole for instance, or Drake, or Kendrick, or Big Sean. Like these niggas can rap. You know what I'm saying? But they be like doing melodies. They experiment, then they beats or Chief Keef too. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of artists that I can name that's like the beats and the way how they coming off, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, nigga, that shit fresh as hell. And I love the energy that Michigan putting out there. You got Rio, YNJ,
YC Mike, yeah.
yeah, Louis Ray. Then you got like the Bezos, the payrolls, like Sada Baby, PNB, Pac Man. You know what I'm saying? You got niggas out here that's really got a lot of energy and you know what I'm saying, doing shit. Then you got like niggas that like GT or Juan or
Yeah, I fuck with GT.
yeah, Cash Out Calhoun. Um, it's a lot of shit like the Lodge Boys and shit.
Okay.
You know, Michigan got a lot of energy and shit. And I'm really appreciative because being from Michigan, like nigga, I appreciate that shit. Like nigga, that shit, nigga, we finally getting our light.
All right. You're a rapper from Michigan, the general. What you think about that? What's your favorite album, era, and producer, and why?
Uh, shit, but my favorite album would be between Project Pat, Getty Green, and probably like Chronic 2001.
Side note, what's your favorite song off Getty Green though?
Getty Green. My favorite song is off. My favorite song off Getty Green would probably be Getty Green. Yeah, it's like you know what I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah, I
Getty
mean,
Green, Getty Green.
yeah, you know me. I know you. He a storyteller like Project Pat, one of the most underrated storytellers. And even I don't care how you talking about gangster shit, whatever. As a storyteller, you can close your eyes and picture that shit like that. Like that put me on the niggas like low key Devin the Dude. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, that made me
I
appreciate
was
like
hip to
that.
Devin the Dude since like, dude, what the fuck you wanna
Wanna
do?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's my favorite song.
And after you finish with whatever you doing, tell whoever looking for me, I'm in the bathroom. Boo boom. You know what I'm saying? Like that. One of the illustrators. And Devin the Dude is a storyteller too. Like, see, that's why I fuck with underground music because, like, man, them niggas get to say what they want to say. They get creative control to, express themselves freely, but they giving you that raw shit. Like Devin the Dude, he one of the coldest storytellers alive. You know what I'm saying? Project Pat. You know what I'm saying? One of the coldest storytellers alive. That motherfucking yeah. You already know.
The artist storytelling featuring Slick Rick. It's like this now. It's like that
put me up
now.
on, they put me up on a few artists, you know what I'm saying? But it's just the way that bitch roll. Like one of my favorite tracks on there is Bitch Niggas. Stop scheming and looking hard. Bitch Niggas. That shit was so hard. Like, nigga, I'm young.
Nigga, my shit.
Like, these
my shit off wasn't that shit off the Chronic 2001 where that nigga Eminem came on there like, oh no, he was mocking Snoop. He came
Yeah.
on like, oh no, it's
No,
Big
it's
Slim
Snoop
Dogg.
Dogg.
He was mocking Snoop Dogg. Snoop
Yeah,
Dogg
I
was like,
remember that
oh
shit.
no,
Yeah, I
it's
remember that.
Big
I forget
Snoop
which one
Dogg.
flow it was.
And
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Eminem came on and said like the same shit. Like, nigga, that
He
shit
flipped
was
it.
so
Yeah, he flipped
fucking
his flow.
classic.
Him,
Hell
Exhibit was on there. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I remember that. Well, I don't know.
Hey,
I forget what the other
Exhibit
niggas,
from
Mailman.
Detroit.
I know. Mailman, Hitman. It was a gang of niggas on there, and I like how the collective of artists that he had on there just meshed together so well. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
shit too. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and low key Scott Storch. Scott Storch, I fuck with Scott Storch low key. That you know what I'm
They
saying?
was beefing
He
for a
like a
minute,
most
but they
known
back
unknown
cool.
low key. You know what I'm saying?
I'm following Scott Storch on Instagram, and like back when he was more active, dog, like that nigga would get on the pianos, and that nigga would play like the most beautiful melodies that you can just spit like the dopest shit to. Like Scott Storch is a motherfucking monster, bro.
I love to hear like a
Like
Scott Storch Rick Ross album.
Scott Storch did shit with Rick Ross, and
I
that,
know
and
he
you know,
did,
I
but
would,
I'm saying like exclusively. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
for
like
sure.
a whole project.
Yeah, like at least a good 12 songs, 10.
Yeah, cause and you know from Rick Ross, I want to hear another Maybach music with Drake, cause like back when Drake, Chris Michelle, and Rick Ross dropped Maybach, Aston Martin music, like and
Yeah.
Drake's fucking spit for like 4 minutes or some shit. Like, oh, this nigga went in on that song. That might be like my one of my all time favorite songs. Like Drake, fucking, that's like one of my most favorite Drake verses. Though that shit was so passionate. It was hardcore. You know, it had the emotions through that shit like that. Come up like nigga, this that
And
Aston
Drake
Martin music.
Drake and Ross flow got a lot of parallels to them. You know what I'm saying? Both of their flows, you know what I'm saying? They both get to talking that bullshit. They both get to talking about some life shit. You know what I'm saying? They are both, you know what I'm saying, got hell of a melodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, so whenever they collab, that shit is always dope because they deliver music at a certain caliber. Both of their production is always, you know what I'm saying, top tier. You know what I'm saying? So that's always a dope ass collabo. I love to hear some shit like that.
I'm low key a big ass Rick Ross fan.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite? What's your favorite era, General?
My favorite era, like 99 and 2000, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit, Rough Rider era, Rough Rider, Cash Money, Hot Boy era. Like that's my era that I feel like really, you know what I'm saying? You seen how powerful the culture was, like for real. That's low key really when like the white tee shit started. It started look like a little bit before everybody was making songs about it. That's really like when the white tee culture started. You know what I'm saying? Like you see how powerful the culture was. We was taking over on multiple levels. Like the South and the North collided because if you gotta think Rough Riders and Cash Money was doing tours and boom, like that shit was changing the game. Like shit, they still talking about that shit to this day on every interview. They still asking them about that same shit. Like, what was that shit like?
Yeah, that era did impact. My favorite album has to be Reasonable Doubt. Favorite era, probably 2007, between 2007 and 2010.
Oh yeah, you talking about that Currency, Down, Nipsey,
Yeah,
ASAP Rocky.
You already know.
Yeah, the Ellie.
Tyler the Creator.
Ellie Dollar.
No, Ellie. It was a nigga named Ellie.
Oh yeah. Ellie for the Uncool. And Les was, he came out like maybe like a few years after that shit.
Brandon the Shea. Shit like that.
Yeah, I was just listening to that like last month. That Why Bother and shit. Nigga come on like 777. Why bother? That was a cold ass beat. Like them niggas had a lot of soulful samples that like they utilized those samples so great. Like back in those days, like that's that underground hip hop a lot of niggas not hip to. And that's why I like when that whole Nipsey shit was going on and now all of a sudden everybody a Nipsey fan. It's like, nigga, we been listening to this. Y'all niggas really just not getting hip to Nipsey Hussle. Like, nigga, what the fuck?
But it's
And nigga, we was
always like
listening
that,
to
though.
Nipsey when he was in the college tours and shit. Wale and them niggas.
It's always like that though. People always want to get
I
hip,
mean,
but
it's
when it
only
get
a
relevant,
certain type of fan that's gonna look for that type of
For
sound before it
me,
comes out.
it's kind of always been like that. Like nigga, I'm always looking for the next artist. You know what I'm saying? I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was hip to Waka Flocka Flame back when he did that Hard in the Paint. You know what I'm saying? Like nigga, it's like three different versions to that song. Like nigga, that's how hip I am to that shit. Or when Gucci Mane came out and shit. Like nigga, I know about so much music. Like I'm like a walking music library damn near.
So okay, you know about so much music. Then, who's the greatest female artist of all time?
Hip hop wise,
Yeah, hip hop.
I would probably I want to say Meg the Stallion because I've heard songs where she has great lyrical content. At
You
this
saying of
point,
all
like in
time? Of all time, though?
no, I'm saying like as far as just like the first thought that come to my mind, like because you know just like how you asked me my question about my favorite, like I like what's going on now, but like to me like Meg the Stallion has too much provocative stuff and not enough for her showcase. Like she actually has some good talent as far as like just she can spit some shit. But a lot of her shit, you know, and I ain't mad at that because that's what sells. You know what I'm saying? But Meg Thee Stallion can actually spit. Then I would give it, MC Light Hour, or it's between, no, Queen Latifah. Because she got this one song I fuck with. And I don't even know if y'all hip to this shit, but it's called Just Another Day.
It's 384 Stuyvesant. We gonna take it over to 155 Morgan. Just another day living in the hood. Just another day around the way. Feeling good today. Feeling lovely, Just another day living in the hood. Just another day around the way. Feeling good today. I hear I'm here to stay. Well, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Can't go wrong. I feel strong and the flavor's good. I'm with whatever comes my way. Hip hop parade. Latifah's on vacation. I'm just plain old day to day.
Yeah,
Prodigy
that shit
sampled that
sweet.
shit. Prodigy
Just
sampled that
another
shit
day. Just another.
on his HNIC album. But that song is so like for a female artist, like that song is like very much like captivating. Like, and don't get me wrong, like Lauryn Hill is like the fucking goat. But that one song in particular just kind of bodied everything every female artist did. Like that Just Another Day from Queen Latifah, that shit is fucking like I haven't heard no other female artist captivate some shit that was so mind blowing and it was so like hood that niggas could listen to that shit that was like nigga that's a woman rapping. This is a bitch rapping like however you wanna look at it like nigga that she's going. Like nigga, she set the standard. Like nigga, it was okay for a woman to really rap about like hood politics and shit like that, and like make nigga that song is fucking beautiful. Like
I'm gonna have to go.
I don't
I'm gonna have
know.
to go with MC Light.
shit, I'm gonna just say Lauren Hill. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not many um like female artists, but as far as withstanding the test of time, as far as her album, any song like that whole album is gonna be on the radio for the rest of our lives. You know what I'm saying? And everything that she spit on there is still relevant to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like every message is still relevant. And shit, she ain't even got a large body enough of work to compare to nobody, but everything on that one album has withstood the test of time. You know what I'm saying? It's classic and it's a part of history.
Who's the most underrated lyricist ever?
Underrated lyricist.
Sure.
What you would say? Because I'm gonna say either Scarface.
You think he underrated?
Hell yeah.
Mm.
Like, look at this shit right. Like, okay, I look at every artist. I look at their body of work. You know what I'm saying? They albums. You got to look at them as a book. Like, if you crack the book open, how it's broken down in that person's frame of mind in that place and time, but where so their perspective on what they was going through. So an album is no different. So if you want to crack those albums open and really listen to what that man was saying, he one of the coldest storytellers, and 90% of that shit, his catalog is overlooked for a few singles. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
if you want to talk about an artist that can go bar for bar with your Jay-Z's and your DMX's, it's Scarface. But you never hear his name in the argument.
I'm interested to hear who Shark Dog think is the most underrated lyricist ever.
I would say like probably E40 might be one of them because like he's contributed a lot to the game, and like he's always kind of been so far ahead, like especially back in the day. Like E40 is like so 2021, like back in the day. You know what I'm saying? He was saying a lot of shit that niggas was using for years and years and years. You know what I'm saying? Like or decades, probably because E40 been out since like what the 89 or the late 80s, and you know what I'm saying, where we at now, like, you know, E40 been saying some shit, and niggas was just really catching up on what E40 was saying, like in like the early to mid 2000s and shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was like, damn, that's what this nigga meant. Damn, this nigga, you know, but a lot of niggas don't acknowledge like E40 like put a lot of words out there that niggas is like just really getting hip to. You know what I'm saying? So I probably would give it to E40. That nigga's like the human what you call that shit? Ebonics. The Ebonics dictionary. That nigga was like the original slang, you know what I'm
The
saying? That
Urban
nigga
Dictionary.
was
I thought he did have an Urban Dictionary. I thought he did that for
he
real.
might if he don't, he need one because E40 came up with a lot of slang, like, and a lot of E40 slang evolved into what it is now. Even white people was using his shit but didn't even know where it came from.
So you ain't lying.
Like, how many rappers can you name that can say like he got his shit from E40? E40 originated that.
I mean, but like you said, it's a part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people is gonna pick that shit up and utilize it. That's just to be relevant, just to be knowing what's going on, knowing what the slang is. It's just a part of just being relevant in the conversation. Like E40, you know what I'm saying? He rapping, he explaining, expressing himself. He using his voice as an instrument. You know what I'm saying? He doing all these things, and he doing it with so much animation and consistency that if you don't know how to just to appreciate it, it don't sound right to you. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta
Ha-
understand. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn how to listen. You know what I'm saying? People, man, people just don't get it, man. You can only take so much from it because to you that shit is amusement. It's a spectacle to you. You can't even believe that he delivered that shit like that, like that. Like say a Buster Rhymes
I
or something.
listen to that.
You know what I'm
Yeah, oh,
saying?
Busta Rhymes. Let's not talk about him. He one of my
Yeah.
like getting into rap. Like my favorite rap artist when I first started listening to rap was Busta Rhymes. Like the first school dance I went to, like that was my favorite song that played. That put your hands with my eyes and see
See,
straight up walling in the place to
that's
be.
indeed.
And I
Yeah.
ain't
Do
gonna
you
lie,
really want to
that's
party and
one
fuck with
thing.
me?
It
Party with
always
me.
made me want to be original too because it's like nothing is sounding like that.
Yeah.
Nothing ever in the history
Yeah, he had a definitely had a
nothing
different
in the
sound.
history of before and after Busta Rhymes has a nigga been like, I'm going that route. And because he stood alone with everything that he did.
Yeah.
And that shit has withstood the test of time. He can still rock a crowd. He's still in his latter 40s and still killing a motherfucking show like nobody wants to go after this nigga. You understand what I'm saying? So that nigga like just be your fucking self. Like he one of the people that definitely inspired the nigga to be comfortable in his skin. You know what I'm saying? Because he always stood alone. You
What
know?
song has gotten y'all through the toughest of times?
Mm, that's a good one.
Hmm,
Mine is
that's a good
regrets.
question.
Mine is
The
regrets.
Jay Z.
From Jay Z.
Yeah.
I love that song.
That's another episode. Huh?
So yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you. That is definitely a good song. Because nigga, I ain't gonna lie, when I was younger though, the nigga that got me through tough times though. Just thinking about that shit, thinking about my mama, she wasn't always like the most consoling person, but she was a strong motherfucker, and she taught me a lot. Like so, shit. I gotta learn to live with regrets. Like nigga, that song was deep. I think one of my shits might be J. Cole, the second dollar in the drain.
Yeah, yeah. Got a dollar in a dream. Yeah, I got a dollar in a dream. Real niggas on my team. Everything ain't what it seems. Yeah, got a dollar in a dream. Hey. Yeah, hey, I got a dollar in a dream. Real niggas on my team. Everything ain't what it seems. Niggas hating, but I love them even though they tryna scheme. But I'm past that. A nigga stock is rising like the NASDAQ. They say I'm the future, but yet I'm giving niggas flashbacks of better days. When you ain't have to settle for whatever play. I represent the struggle, nigga. I say what they never say. Whenever they spit that bullshit, they spittin' this that pulpit. I'm hitting niggas with the gospel. Hostile with them hoes. I got a dollar in my pocket plus a dream. Yeah, you laughing, my nigga, but everything ain't what it seems. What it mean to know your mama or your father on that pipe, on that hard white.
That like I don't know how many times when I was working at the company I was working for at the time, like I used to just work the whole day listening to that shit because it was like a nigga struggle and shit. And then when I heard, and really, like, I think a nigga fucked up. He was like selling CDs and selling his own CDs too. He made a mistake and gave me the J. Cole CD. So that was like the first time I got hip to that song. Like a nigga made a mistake and gave me the wrong CD. I was just trying to support a nigga music. And this nigga gave me J. Cole shit. Like, and I heard that Dollar in the Drain, like, and I've been hooked
Life
since.
crazy as hell. Like,
Hell yeah.
that nigga thought he had a fan.
What's your song, man? Got you through the toughest of times, bro.
Shit, that Big Crit featuring Bun B, Shine On.
UGK for life. Good Lord, it feels good to shine. Let's go.
By the time you probably heard this, I was on another verse, bitch. That was in the back with curtains. Breaking hoes off, I never doze off of my post. Never disrespect your hoes. I'm about to hand and feed you. Cup links cold as Ebenezer. My mama probably should have named it Caesar. Cleaner than the Baptist preacher that used to pimp. Gator shoe don't make the man, so prim. So keep on with that, like I won't whip back around the neck like that you done seen. Don't worry about this, I'm sure about this. If you know what I mean, shine on. Yo, we shine on. It's way too strong. Yo.
Yeah, but Big Crit got a lot of them songs.
That's my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that Crit, man. That nigga got so much pain in his music. That boy be just, how to express himself. I done been through many, self renovations. The renovation of self, you know what I'm saying, with Crit in the playlist, happy for sure. So yeah, that's definitely one of my songs that I done had some defining moments too, for sure.
But what y'all know about Too Short? The Ghetto. Dun, dun,
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
the Ghetto.
That's a classic.
That
That
was
is
my
definitely
shit.
classic.
Like I used to ride slow as hell, gang banging out the window on Vice City to that shit.
You talking about gang banging on Vice City, dog. You about to blast?
No, that wasn't even Vice City. That was St. Andreas.
Oh, San Andreas, yeah.
Yeah.
Some baller fools, right? Don't be out here playing the old street, nigga.
Favorite West Coast artist.
DJ Quick.
DJ Quick. Uh,
Kendrick Lamar, honorary, give it to Nipsey Hussle as an honorary
I mean, this honorary
favorite.
hustle for sure, but you know what I'm saying? Off the bill.
I had to say
Kendrick
Ice.
Lamar.
I had to say Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, that's my dog. I can't lie. But I'm going to give it to
I
Quick.
fucks with Kendrick Lamar. Why y'all say y'all artists though?
You say who?
Why do y'all pick y'all artists for y'all favorite West Coast?
Uh, Me personally, I say because for one, he's in my favorite movie,
Oh,
Friday, of
Come on,
This
course,
nigga
Friday.
used to watch Friday faithfully.
of
Like
course.
Mike Jones,
But
that nigga used to listen to that shit. So he used to watch Friday. Every time we used to fire up back in the day, this nigga would be having this little the DVD player, the little mini joint. Nigga,
yeah,
we'd be outside. This nigga, he wasn't even fired a blunt up if we did that Friday play. Like this nigga used to watch that
Just
shit
having
so
crack
much.
the first scene open and shit. Like, fuck it.
Yeah. Like
but
anytime we was
That
at
was the
this nigga
soundtrack.
crib,
That was the soundtrack
hell
to the
yeah.
weed smoke.
I don't know. I just feel like he the way he did his career, he did it with grace, and he never really seen him in too much, out of character, out of place. He always
Say Cube kept
kept
it
it
G
there,
for
right
as long
there,
as
right
he
there.
could.
Yeah, right.
Nah,
Exactly.
I feel that.
What
Yeah.
about you? Why was yours?
I mean, Quick.
I fuck with Quick. My brother, my
Like,
middle brother, introduced me to Quick.
what Quick was like, he a producer and a rapper. You know what I'm saying? And then he kind
One
of
of
get
the
it.
first.
Yeah, and then he got his hand in a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying?
He
So
got
his
his own
story.
style too.
But
Like
his
nobody
story
ever had. Nobody got that
is
style ever.
compelling. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, do y'all remember that DJ Quick song that I don't wanna eat it? She's a hoe, she's a hoe, she's a hoe, yeah.
I'm pretty
He
sure
made a
you
whole
don't know.
song about
Man, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like he came with a full package. It's him, sugar free. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a collective of niggas that you was able to appreciate the sound that the nigga was bringing, and it was all off feel good shit. Like them niggas made real shit, they made G shit, but they was off of some feel good shit. You know what I'm saying? And the music just spoke volumes about how they was influenced about their culture and what was going on around them. Like that's what I really got from the Quick shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you really could hear it in
DJ
his
Quick was
music.
hard.
Yeah. Like Balancing Options,
That
one of my favorite albums for real.
I
Oh
gotta
no.
give it to
Hey,
Warren G,
Warren G
man.
underrated too. Don't get it twisted. Warren G is under motherfucking rated. For sure, for sure. You know what I'm
So
saying? I
what
will
artist
say that.
gets overlooked and why?
What artists like shit a gang of them, but since we talking about Warren G,
Are
I'm
we
gonna give
talking about the West?
I'm gonna say Warren
I
G for
mean, we
sure.
could just give whatever artist you feel like is getting overlooked.
I'm gonna say Warren G. I mean, I know all this new shit going on, but I'm gonna keep it old school, man, because that's what influenced me. Like even your favorite artist was influenced by somebody we talking about.
Well, like my favorite West Coast artist and most overlooked would be Kendrick Lamar.
I don't think he overlooked, but
Kendrick
okay, I'll
Lamar ain't
say.
That
overlooked,
nigga's
nigga.
dog. He's
Nigga said
overlooked
he
in my
overlooked.
opinion because to me he's like better than Drake, but Drake gets like more of the accolades.
I
You know
mean,
what
but
I'm
Drake been out
saying?
way longer than Kendrick,
Drake
and he way
just.
more consistent than Kendrick.
They been out around the same time because like when I
Nah,
was
I can't
bumping
say
I can
that.
Drake,
say he
I
more.
was
Maybe he more marketable
He
though.
more consistent than
Drake more
Kendrick.
marketable
He
anyway.
more
But
consistent.
but see Kendrick
He been
Lamar
way
is
more
like one of those
because he been
Kendrick
out longer.
Lamar is like one of those artists like J. Cole. Like them niggas, they just come out whenever the fuck they want to come out.
So that's what I'm saying. But you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't put them in a place of niggas just doing what the fuck they doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a rare thing.
I do. Because Kendrick Lamar is definitely like overlooked. Like the
Nah,
type of
that nigga ain't overlooked. That nigga got all his just do.
to me he is because like when I talk about a lot of artists,
Big
like,
Crit
oh,
is
what's your
overlooked to
favorite
me.
artist?
I feel
I
like Big Crit is
never,
overlooked. You know what I'm
man, I
saying?
don't
I
even
feel
want
like
to talk about that nigga,
that's
man.
what I'm
That
saying. I feel
nigga,
like Big Crit one of the most overlooked artists as far as lyrically, production, everything. I
he
feel like
is, dog.
you know what I'm saying. I feel like niggas
I
would
mean,
rather talk
if
about.
if Kendrick Lamar was overlooked, he wouldn't be able to drop like he do.
I feel like niggas would rather talk about Cole and Kendrick than talk about Crit any day. You know what I'm saying? And Crit is,
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Flat the fuck out. You got
that
you.
nigga Big Crit got some shit. Like I don't even like listening to that shit, man, because Big Crit, he done that nigga is like one of the only artists in hip hop that done touch my soul like how that nigga touch my shit. Like nigga, I get the
Oh,
crying when I get to hearing one of this nigga
Yeah.
songs and shit. Pause.
Yeah.
But nigga, I get to thinking about my grandma and shit because he got a song called "Miss You Like Yesterday."
Your friends, your relatives, your neighbors, good idea to speak up for them. And it's always good to thank God.
I miss you like yesterday. I miss you like yesterday. I miss you like yesterday. Yeah, I know it sounds cliche, and they tell me just to pray, but I miss you like yesterday. I miss you like yesterday. I miss you like yesterday. Yeah, I know it sounds cliche, and they tell me just to pray.
Shit, like he talking about his grandma on there and
yeah.
shit. That shit, like nigga, and that was around when she just passed when that nigga dropped that shit. So, like nigga, I used to wake up, listen to that shit. Like I used to listen to that shit when I would go pick my girl up from work when I drop her off. Like nigga, that shit is just like nigga, that is one of them songs that has so much weight to it because it's like such a great hip hop song because like it has the lyrics, it has the emotion, it has the beats, and it has the energy behind it to feed those emotions
Yeah,
that
he
you're
got hella
feeling.
songs like that. Like, I remember like The Vent, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, when he did that shit off the book.
Every time.
He got a gang of songs like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Nigga, that's my second
you
song. When
can't.
we
That's what
play
I'm
this shit
saying. Like you
back,
can't talk about Crit and
You
Cole.
said
I mean, you
what?
can't talk about Cole and Kendrick and not talk about Crit. Like nigga, that's why I feel like he is the underdog of that situation because I feel like he just as talented as them niggas, if not more, because he producing all his own shit.
yeah, that's one of my second songs that I would recommend listening to. Like that Miss You Like Yesterday, like nigga that and that album was a great put together album too. But that song in particular, like nigga, I would say like go back and listen to that and whatever I said when we first started this interview and shit, like nigga, those two songs right there, like nigga, those is like very powerful and very deep and that like embodies hip hop or music, period. Like Big Crit has that soul, you know, like them Negro spirituals type of shit. Like
Who's everybody's favorite? What's your favorite one hit wonder?
Um,
who let the dogs out? No, I'm bullshit.
That's a one hit wonder though. Shit.
for me, it'll be everybody in the club getting tipsy.
Yeah.
Everybody
That
in the
nigga
club
said
getting
Jay
tipsy.
Quan. Nigga, not Jay Quan.
Nigga, that's a one hit wonder for your ass, boy. You feel me? That's a real
Nigga,
wonder.
that was my rock and roll days
If
because I
that's
was
not, I
not
don't know
fucking with
what
hip hop.
is. If that
Nigga,
ain't
that's
a one
like
hit wonder,
nigga.
and that shit
That's
I'm
like
talking about I had this whole summer. Like that was
Favorite
Young Jock before Young Jock.
favorite one hit wonder, Montel Jordan.
Montel Jordan
he ain't
no
no one hit wonder. He had like a few hits.
That nigga had
He had at least like 2 or 3. He had one by himself.
Name them.
He had one by himself that
Name both of
he had the
them.
one with he had that one with left eye that oh girl you know what's up you
That's
know
Donnell
that
Jones, nigga. Nah. Yes, right. That's Daniel Jones, nigga. Montel Jordan had one song.
Hey, Montel Jordan, he is the one though. That is, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
No disrespect.
Nigga said Daniel. Yeah, Daniel Jones had a couple.
No funny, it. It feels so good in my hood.
Yeah.
All he had, nigga. But hey, no respect to him though. But that's the
I think it's
damn.
it might be, but right now you right. You right. I ain't gonna argue with you. You right.
But
ain't we talking hip hop though? Ain't we talking hip hop? So that's not hip hop though. That's R&B.
Man, that's a part of hip hop. Hey, that's a part of the culture.
I don't know.
Man, nah, nigga. I want your hip hop shit, nigga. What was your one hit wonder hip hop?
My one hit wonder hip hop.
Who let the dogs?
Nah. I can't think of the name, but Bubba Sparks.
Bubba Sparks. Oh shit.
I can't think of the name of.
He had a few though. Like he had that.
He had more than one song for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, he kind of.
Y'all gonna try to get real. Y'all gonna try to get real technical with it. I see. It's all good. I mean,
niggas just remember some of that shit.
Yeah.
A lot of that shit I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? But some of that shit I do. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna let a Montel Jordan when you might be right. It just seemed like that song probably maybe such a hit. It seemed like it's 2-3 different songs. Like, I don't know why.
But he was saying hip hop, so I understand.
I mean, but that's a part of hip hop. I ain't gonna front. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that shit down there word for word if it came on, so I can't front on it. You know what I'm saying? But that's definitely one of the ones.
When your son gets to that age, what album will you be introducing him to?
I'm already introducing my son to albums. Like I'm already putting my son up on like Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he already up on his own like J. Cole and different artists that he like, which, you know, I'll be proud. Like, okay, you know, he got an ear for music. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
how old is your son?
My son 13.
Okay.
Yeah, like I've been putting him up on good music. Like he's very aware of all the greats. You know what I'm saying?
You really do let your son.
My daughter 13.
Yeah, I let my son listen to Nip for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody.
My daughter 13, she don't really like a lot of shit I listen to. She like a few of my songs, but you know, I don't put her up on, or I would say like Billie Eilish and shit like that. I was listening to that before she was, so she thought she was, cause like she be like in the like, Daddy, you hear this? You know what I'm saying? Or what song is this? She be like in the try me because she know I'm into music and she grew up around me. So like a lot of shit, like you know what I'm saying. She would want to know kind of.
She would want to try to to him too.
But I listen to a lot of new shit, nigga. I done got into R&B and shit. Like, nigga, I was banging Billie Eilish before she was. She didn't realize this, so she tried to play me a Billie Eilish song, and I'm like, nigga, I've been playing this. Like, where you been at? Like, what the fuck?
Right.
But yeah, my daughter, she like rap. She write rhymes and shit, but she fuck with R&B too and shit though. Like, but no, dog. That's funny. That's a good one. My daughter 13 too. Yeah, them kids, man. I guess it's around that time when they really be getting into like hip hop and shit like that. Though,
they've been into it. They just finding their own sound. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, you in your 60s. You 65, almost 70. Do you see yourself still listening to hip hop?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's my life.
I mean, I'll be doing that shit when I'm 60, man, because I don't know what else I'm gonna listen to.
Can't be. You gonna rap? You gonna rap at 60?
I'm gonna still be rapping. Hell yeah. I mean, because you got to think like our parents only listening to the shit they grew up on.
All right, I'm gonna end it off. What's everybody Mount Rushmore?
What you mean with Mount Rushmore?
Your top 4, 5.
Top 4.
The pinnacle of your
rappers.
Musical.
Jay-Z? Or you going right now?
No,
Ray?
go ahead. No, yeah, go ahead. I was 10, baby.
Jay-Z. God damn it, nigga! You done called me kind of off guard. No particular order. Jay Z, Kendrick, J Cole got some thought provoking shit. I need some ratchet shit. So like 21 Savage.
My Rushmore had to be Pat for sure. Quick. I can't lie, Styles P. He one of my for sure dogs. And I'm gonna have to say Big Crit. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Man, it had to be Jay-Z, Currency. I had to go with Andre 3000.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go with Lupe.
Damn, that nigga pulled one out that archive.
Dog, a third song before we cut this off. The Morale by Lupe Fiasco. A song if y'all ain't heard that shit. That nigga went 9 minutes straight bars.
Yeah.
So for anybody listening to this, my 3 picks for y'all niggas to listen to, those are it. You gotta catch the whole episode to hear my top 3 songs for this episode for niggas to listen to.
All right. I want everybody to like, subscribe, and share this episode.
Down here, you got the like and the subscribe at the bottom.
And
don't forget to share.
Look out for that part two of hip hop coming soon.
Nigga, look out for all this shit. Cause we going hard. Cause Cash Money taking over for the 9-9 in the
You can check us out at Life Under the Scope Podcast on Instagram, on Life Under the Scope Productions on YouTube, the Life Under the Scope Podcast on Spotify and iTunes.
Man, we having fun, man, changing the world, one conversation at a time.
And that was a great episode of Life Under the Scope.
For sure. Hey, man, we gonna order a pizza or something?
Yeah, should I keep that in?
Yeah, that's a good way to end that shit. Hell yeah.
Hey. Under the Scope.